So, this happened a couple of years ago during my friend Sarah's Bachelorette party in Miami. We were all super excited. Just a bunch of girls out to have fun, drinks flowing, music pumping. The night started off great. We hit up this popular nightclub everyone had been talking about. Sarah was on cloud nine, wearing this tiara that said bride-to-be. So, of course, she was getting attention. And we loved it. Free drinks, compliments. It was all good vibes. But then this guy shows up. He wasn't like the rest of the guys there, you know? He wasn't partying, wasn't with a group of friends. He just kind of hovered. At first, we didn't pay him much attention. Figured he was just looking to chat like most guys. But every time we moved to a different area, he was there, watching. Not dancing, not drinking, just staring. It was unsettling, but we brushed it off. I mean, we were in a packed club. What could happen, right? As the night wore on, we decided to leave the club for another spot. We piled into an Uber, all laughing and singing, and honestly, I had forgotten all about the guy. But when we got to the next place, guess who's there? The same guy standing outside, just leaning against the wall like he had been waiting for us. My stomach dropped. I told the girls, and we started to get freaked out. We decided to ignore him and headed inside. About an hour later, Sarah goes missing. We thought she was in the bathroom, but after 15 minutes we started to panic. We searched the entire club, asked the staff, checked the bathrooms. Nothing. We all ran outside calling her name, and that's when we saw him. The guy. He was standing by an alleyway down the street, and Sarah was with him. I ran toward them, and as soon as he saw me coming, he bolted. Sarah was shaking. She said he had grabbed her arm, whispered something in her ear, and tried to pull her toward his car, but he let go when he saw us coming. We got out of there so fast. The rest of the night was a blur. None of us spoke about it again, but I'll never forget how close we were to something going horribly wrong. I'll never forget my friend Megan's Bachelorette weekend. We rented this beautiful house on the outskirts of this small town. The house was perfect. Big backyard, a pool, and total privacy, which was exactly what we wanted for the weekend. The host was this guy named Dan, and he seemed nice enough at first. He met us when we arrived, gave us a quick tour of the house, and left. Everything seemed fine. But that night, weird things started happening. We were all in the living room playing drinking games when we heard a knock at the door. It was like midnight. We peeked through the window, and no one was there. We laughed it off, thinking it was some prank. Maybe one of us was messing around, but then it happened again, another knock, harder this time. We all froze, and when we checked again, no one was there. Now we were creeped out. The next morning, we noticed things were different. It was little things at first. A door that we swore was closed was open. Someone's bag had been moved. My friend Emily swore she had left her phone charging in the kitchen, but we found it on the patio. We laughed it off. Maybe we'd had too much to drink and forgot where we put things. But by the second night, things got weirder. Around 2 a.m., I heard footsteps in the hallway. I thought it was one of the girls going to the bathroom, but when I got up to check, everyone was asleep in their rooms. Then I heard it again. Footsteps, slow and deliberate. I was freaked out but didn't want to wake everyone up. I crept down the hallway, heart pounding. And that's when I saw him. Dan, the Airbnb host, was standing at the top of the stairs, in the house, just standing there. I froze, not sure what to do. He saw me and smiled, like it was totally normal for him to be inside the house in the middle of the night, just checking on things, he said. I was too terrified to even speak. I ran back to my room, locked the door, and texted the girls. We didn't leave our rooms until the morning, and as soon as the sun came up, we packed our bags and got out of there. Dan never gave us an explanation. We reported him to Airbnb, but I never found out what happened after that. All I know is that I'll never stay at a rental house again. My best friend Jen's bachelorette party was in Nashville. We rented a cabin about 30 minutes outside of the city, in the middle of nowhere, thinking it would be fun to be isolated and have the place to ourselves. The first night was a blast. Drinks, music, the usual. But on the second night, something happened that still gives me chills. One of the girls, Ashley, had gone outside to take a phone call. No big deal, right? But after about 20 minutes, she hadn't come back. So we started looking for her. We called her phone, but no answer. We thought maybe she went for a walk to clear her head or something, but it didn't feel right. We grabbed flashlights and went searching around the property. I'll never forget the silence. No wind, no animals, just dead quiet. After about 10 minutes, I found her phone lying in the grass near the edge of the woods. My heart sank. We yelled her name, but no response. At this point, we were all freaking out, imagining the worst. About an hour later, we called the police. They arrived, searched the woods, and eventually found Ashley. She was sitting against a tree, her eyes wide open, but she wasn't speaking, just staring off into the distance. It was like she was in shock. They took her to the hospital, and she didn't say a word for 2 days. When she finally spoke, she couldn't remember much. She said a man had come out of the woods and started talking to her, asking weird, personal questions. She tried to walk away, but he grabbed her arm and told her to follow him. She managed to get away and run into the woods, but she couldn't explain how she got to the tree or what happened in the time she was missing. The police never found the guy. They searched the area but came up with nothing. We cut the trip short, and to this day, Ashley refuses to talk about what happened. Whatever she saw or experienced out there, it changed her. It's terrifying to think that someone was out there, watching us, waiting for the right moment.